Well, Manatee County got funding to install sewer systems for the small historic community of Tallevast. Neighbors got excited.
Yeah, but decades later, they are still waiting on that. And this evening, 10 Investigates Emerald Morrow follows the money and the hazardous concerns that come with it.
What happens when people are in need, but say those in place to help aren't doing enough? Neighbors say they're exhausted, they're angry, they're spent.
It upsets me.
In Tallevast, there is such a thing as living on the wrong side of the tracks.
My name is Allie Horns, and I've been a resident of Tallevast for 40 plus years. The toilets will, what I say, gurgle. To me, that means that it's possibility it will overflow at any point. Well,
Overflow with the threat of contamination with each flush. The problem, her septic tank. For decades, Manatee County has been promising to get neighbors on her side of the track off of septic
we're all on septic.
and connected to sewer.
It seems like we're the community that Manatee County doesn't care about.
To get where she's coming from, you have to go back. 10 Investigates got archived records from 1982. That's when the county first applied for federal assistance, $1 million in a community development block grant, some of which would cover water and sewer upgrades for all 55 properties in town. The county described sewer systems as the most serious community development need, but they never finished the project. So those like Allie still wait.
This septic tank is overflowed and messed up my entire house. The septic tank.
But her problems, well, they're deeper than septic.
Christian Wells, professor of anthropology. The community of Tallevast is a neighborhood of surprisingly happy, upbeat, close, family-related people that have this really horrible past of drinking contaminated well water for a long time. And so you have a lot of people that have fallen ill with various types of cancers.
Cancer rate out here is pretty high, for one thing.
My mom, she had the cancer.
My dad, he passed away with cancer.
Rectal cancer.
My brothers, all of us ended up with, with the prostate cancer.
This is a real sick street. Every house on this side has cancers, and pretty much every house on this side has cancers.
The Florida Department of Health says for decades, this old beryllium plant leaked solvents like trichloroethylene and dioxane into the ground, contaminating the groundwater. The state says it might have started as early as 1962 when the community relied on well water. Today, Lockheed Martin owns this site, with contamination happening decades before it bought the property in 1996. When the company learned of the contamination in 2000, it did report to the state, but no one told the community.
Wanda Washington. I lived in Tallevast all my life. Nobody told us. We discovered it. Even though the county knew, I guess many agencies knew. It was in the community, it was in drinking water, and it moved to 200 plus acres before the government shut down the investigation.
Today, everyone is connected to city water service, but the contamination makes the push for sewer even more critical.
Jeannie Sokovich, Pabin, attorney and consultant. When it rains, that water table comes up to meet that surface. So any contaminants also have the ability to come up with it. So the infrastructure issues in Tallevast are exigent.
No one outside of the community is listening.
They must be addressed in order for the people in this community to not have further risks, and that is the primary purview of the county.
As part of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, Manatee County got $78 million. Records show the county initially allocated $5 million for sewer projects in Tallevast, but 10 Investigates found that money later went somewhere else. Where did that money go?
What it was is that at some point they had been promised whatever. There was no way you're building a lift station for $5 million.
Mike Ron is the current county commissioner for Tallevast, and he says that $5 million just isn't enough for all the sewer work that needs to be done. So the county reallocated the funds.
So we took part of that $5 million, and I took part of what the board did, and we assigned it to what's called Light Up Manatee. It's a program that I brought to Manatee County. Manatee County was 90% dark without street lights.
Was that discussed with the Tallevast community before it was reallocated?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
First of all, I don't know what Light Up Manatee is, but that money should have come to Tallevast. We should be a priority for Manatee County with everything that that community's been through. I think that my color is not correct. I don't think that my income is where they want it to be. Hurricane beat the trees up really bad. I'm just looking for some peace.
What does Tallevast mean to you?
Cut. Cut.
Of that $5 million originally allocated to Tallevast,
What does Tallevast mean to me?
Ron says $3 million went to Light Up Manatee. The other $2
million was distributed probably within other things under the ARP plan.
But that's not really the full picture. County finance records show that the money actually went to salaries first. In 2023, commissioners unanimously approved a plan that decommitted the Tallevast money, along with several other projects, and put $53 million of the ARP funds toward government payroll. A county spokesperson said whatever money that freed up then went to a list of projects like Light Up Manatee.
It's benefiting every citizen that we can light up Manatee.
Sewers for Tallevast were not on that list. Ron says sewer for Tallevast would have been too expensive for the county to cover.
I mean, it could be in the millions and millions of dollars to put a sewer system in there, and if everybody doesn't tie in because of the cost to tie in, it's not money well spent.
They just took our money. We've been fighting for that. Well, I'm angry. I'm very angry. I can't get anybody to hear me. I can't get anybody here to cry. It's angry. God.
Emerald Morrow, 10 Investigates.
Neighbors in Tallevast are still pushing the county to fulfill its decades-old promise of providing sewer to the entire community. But with the funding gone and the underground contamination still posing a threat, it's unclear when that could happen.